Welcome back to another episode of Down Under Motorsport. I am trying a new format where I'm going to try and include my face a little bit more, just see how it plays out. I don't know if I'll do it again. I just want to test it out and pretty much see how it goes. The idea is that it will save me a bit of time in editing, but that being said, I've just recorded one full episode and forgot to hit record on the microphone. So that being said, it's not helped me so far. But hopefully we'll just test it out. So again, this is going to be a Melbourne Grand Prix rundown for Supercars, essentially run through the weekend, and then run through the predictions that I placed in the Melbourne preview. So with that being said, let's get underway. There's a bit to go through, a few positives, a few negatives. Let's get underway. So Melbourne was a big weekend and short weekend at the same time. When it did run well, it showed how well the sport can run. And that being said, there were a few issues over the weekend that I will get into now. So, clarification on censoring drivers. Adrian Burgess essentially said that we are not gagging anyone. You know, I speak openly and freely with all my drivers. I did phone Shane after Newcastle and encouraged Shane and the driver group to give strong feedback on their thoughts of the car. When asked if drivers are free to be critical, he responded yes, in a respectful manner and professional manner. We don't suppress anything. There was a lot of social media backlash that I don't plan to get into surrounding the idea that they do need to just scrap Formula 1 at Melbourne, as in joining Formula 1. It is a bit appalling to see essentially 6 laps of racing on Friday, including safety car laps. But by looking at the positives, it was incredible racing. We have seen that when we have a good tyre, the cars can battle close and well. We saw 2 separate fires on Friday and Saturday revolving around the 2 Ford Mustangs of Nick Percat and James Courtney. That's not what you like to see, whether it's just a Ford issue or unfortunately it was just them that happened to catch a light, essentially, and the Camaros do have that defect. WAU do believe it's some sort of tyre pressuring monitoring system. One of the wires essentially overheated or whatever, caught fire. Supercars don't believe it's the same issue. However, both WAU and Tickford believe it was the same thing that set their cars alight. Obviously, Nick Percat stopped a little bit earlier, so his car wasn't completely destroyed, but once again, James Courtney, that Tickford team, under a lot of financial strain with all their incidents, you could say. WAU insinuated on Friday that essentially Feeney slowed down throughout that safety car to essentially let Shane come out the pit stop a little bit earlier. You know, Mark Dutton said that's rubbish. Why would Brock Feeney essentially ruin his own chance of winning? LeBrock had binned it, and Brock essentially slowed down just so he didn't get any puncture or have an incident himself. And, you know, I don't really believe this early on. They'd be playing the team game. But who knows? Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. On to the race prediction review. Now, essentially, I'll go through all the race results and then my driver winners and teams and losers and winners, that's the thing. Bear in mind, I have already fully recorded this once with no audio, so bear with me. I'm going to go through it all again. Race 1, I predicted Shane Van Gisbergen, Cam Waters, and Chaz Mostert in that finishing order. Shane did win. He did win, followed by Brodie Kostecki and Will Brown. This was a really good result for the Erebus duo. I was surprised to see their form carry through, positively surprised, and I'm happy that that was them on the podium. That team, I do have a soft spot. I am a Ford fan, but, you know, Brodie and Erebus and Will Brown, they have a soft spot. I do love that team, which is a bit hard to say as a Ford supporter. But race 2, I predicted Cam Waters on top of Shane Van Gisbergen and Will Davidson. This was Brodie's first win. Obviously, it finished under safety car. We didn't have a podium celebration, which was very disappointing. Followed by Shane. I did get that right. P2, Shane, and then Brock Feeney. Great result from Brock Feeney as well. I didn't see him on the podium throughout the weekend. I thought he'd have one of his off weekends, but, you know, he's doing well. He's very much earning that spot in that Red Bull team. I think he's a future champion, no doubt. Race 3. Prediction, Andre. I said Andre would win, followed by Shane and James Courtney. Now, Brodie won that. Second win, we did see him on the podium on the top step, which was really exciting to see. Again, I predicted Shane P2, and I got that one. So far, 3 from 3, I've got Shane correct. And then Will Brown, P3. Once again, solid effort from Erebus. James Courtney. I predicted him on the podium and his car blew up. So maybe I'll stay away from that next time. Race 4. Shane. I said Shane would win, followed by Chaz Mostert and Anton Di Pasquale. P1, Brock Feeney. Hats off. Once again, he's had an amazing race. He pretty much technically led it lights to flag, although he boxed early. He pretty much was under control the entire time. I wasn't really worried. I was kind of hoping Bryce his strategy would actually work. Unfortunately, the hard to super soft did work out to be the better strategy. Just getting out of that group of cars played dividends for him. Clear air, no issue at all. That, wonderful result from Triple Eight. In a weekend where they have been on and off, you must say, Erebus did seem to have the upper hand throughout the weekend, just with how they were always there. That's something Triple Eight usually do, but Erebus were always there the entire weekend. Now, on to the drivers, winners and losers. I said Shane would be the winner of the weekend, and I said Chaz Mostert would be the loser. Now, not necessarily Chaz Mostert would be the worst driver on the grid, just his championship contention, he would suffer. He wouldn't have an optimal weekend. Now, you could say I was right. He definitely didn't have an optimal weekend. He was not once on the podium. Him and his tyres don't seem to be working together, which is a bit of a shame. That's something, obviously, that they would be working on. Yeah, it appears that the tyres are quite critical. Quite critical, you could say. And then the winner, Brody Kostecki. I mean, once again, he top form. He was the man to beat this weekend. He won that Larry Perkins trophy. This was probably his best weekend. This was his best weekend of his career. You could say Erebus as a team probably did better than their Sydney rounds in 2021. And loser, I said David Reynolds. I don't think he finished in the top 10 at all. Matt Payne did appear to have the upper hand. Whether you could say that was just from a few unfortunate incidents David Reynolds got into. He did get hit from Cam Waters, who got hit from James Courtney, which ruined his first race, and then the second qualifying session he beached himself, which removed him from the third and fourth race of the weekend, essentially out of any contention. But yeah, teams, winner and losers. I've said Premier would be the winner of the weekend. Essentially, Tickford as a whole would be the loser. More financial trouble. They didn't really have... They had a really bad start to the weekend. Tim Slade binned it. Nothing really that spectacular. I'll have to check the results again, but they didn't get a lot of screen time besides that last race where they were both battling together. But they definitely picked it up over the end of the week. Better than their last year, but relative to what I thought they could be doing this weekend, it wasn't that great. Loser, Tickford. Look, James Courtney's car went up in flames. I think more so I've gone for the loser of Ford. They not once were on the podium. They were on the podium before penalties. Will Davidson and who else was on the podium? James Courtney. They were both on the podium, then they got penalties through pit lane errors and James Courtney turn 1, lap 1 type thing. But yeah, Ford, just a horrible weekend from them. All 4 races were locked out by Camaros in the end. It was pretty poor. And then winner, Erebus. You have to say Erebus have demolished it. Again, yes, they did earn the most points over the weekend, but just as a whole, they've been so consistent. 6 podiums in 4 races. Not too bad, I would say. And that will be it for this episode. I apologise for any background noise if there's any birds or whatnot, but it's not very good lighting at the moment, but my idea was that it would be better outside than inside. And yeah, make sure you like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments who your winners and losers of the weekend were. I'm interested to hear. And stay tuned for more episodes. Check me out on Spotify, YouTube, and I upload a few TikTok videos, so they're all down under Motorsport. Again, now we've got a chainsaw going in the background. But yeah, thank you for listening. See you in the next one.